Assalamu alaikum and good day to everybody. This is Hasnan from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. And again, I'm live. Let me confirm my sound. And today topic is very interesting. Uh, I will be actually exploring designing a competency-based monitoring model for workplace based assessment for academic programs. So let me quickly share my screen, and those who are joining this live session, please do let me know from where you're watching this session, and those who will be watching the recorded version of this session. So do comment. Uh, okay, let me share my screen. Hopefully you will be able to see now. Okay. By the way, this is one of the workshop we did early this year. Myself and Idalina, one of my colleague, uh, at one of the conference organized by Online Learning Consortium and Merlo. So that was in US. So I thought of providing you a summary and give you a quick update in a webinar format, although the whole session was for more than 3 hours, where we have conducted in a workshop format. So once again, feel free to comment and do let me know from where you are watching my this webinar. So let's move on. As I already told you, I will be exploring how we can design a monitoring model when it comes to competency-based learning or workplace-based assessment. So let's move on. Sorry, I'm actually using a web-based version of my slides. So what I will be covering in around 30 minutes time, how we can design competency-based monitoring, um, and I'll be sharing some of the models which we can use to and assist us in designing monitoring model. Then I will be sharing with you how we could leverage on learning management systems feature or tools available and align assessment with program outcomes and industrial needs. And then just a bit only I will explore, because I have to summarize H5P tools which can actually assist us in creating evidence-based portfolios. So you can design template using this free tool. Most of learning management systems will have H5P by default. And then just a bit only I will explore how you can incorporate digital logbooks for continuous assessment incorporated inside your learning management system. And then touch a bit very briefly on how we can use learning management systems monitoring features for real time tracking of our students progress. And then we can even customize the dashboards and even radar diagram. And at the end I will just share with you some of the strategies to integrate all these tools into your institutional platforms, and how you can enhance students' learning and professional readiness. Okay. Yeah, this I will skip. The first part is designing competency-based monitoring model and workplace-based assessment and evaluate the skills in real work environment. So this is where I just posted about 15 minutes ago about this webinar, and someone already in one of the WhatsApp group said, for patient, let me read exactly, like competency based is actually a front line even in patient safety. Yeah, or even in medical education when it comes to patient care. Yeah. So this is a hot topic. Most of educational institutions, they are moving from outcome based to competency based, and leading to even EPAs, interestable professional activities or assessment. Okay, so just to make sure everybody understand what is competency based assessment. So when I try search, so this is the definition which I got. You may modify according to your own institutional limitations or infrastructure limitations, but basic, it said competency based assessment evaluates performance against defined skills, knowledge and behaviors, and traditional models focusing on outcomes over inputs. So we are moving away, and we will be focusing more on skills, and how competency based framework in LMS could assist us. There must be some performance indicators, or in other word, milestones to be achieved to reach to certain level of competency, and how we could incorporate personalized learning. And there's a lot of tools which could assist us, like just give you example, like a nursing program assesses patient care in clinical setting. So the example map to required skills such as bedside manner, active listening and time management, and you can add on. These are the skills which to complete that task you must have these skills. uh, these are the core competencies and performance indicators. So you need to map your competencies with the task or job roles, and align it with organizational goals also. And there must be performance indicators, as I was telling you, like with detailed rubrics also. So once you achieve at a certain milestone, how we could measure your performance progress according to those rubrics. And there must be a criteria, a smart model, like specific, measurable, achievable, relevant and time bound. I'm going a bit fast, but if you are interested in this topic, so do contact me and let me know. We can even arrange a workshop at your own institutions in detail. Maybe one day we can start. And so this is one of the paper I actually went through. They use this meta model where they start with competencies, then learning outcomes, journal indicators, specific indicator. Like for certain competencies, you need to be very, very specific to measure certain level of competencies. And then there must be structured, comprehensive assessment tools to check the level of competencies. So I mentioned the detail now. You can Google, you can download the complete paper, and that paper could actually assist us a lot in mapping all these different levels when you're implementing competency based framework. I'm just looking at my chat. Okay, so let's move on. Yeah, so this diagram actually shows I use AI to generate this infographic cycle of competency based education. So you need to start by defining competencies, then yeah, design assessment methods, and then you need to actually, yeah, assess students' ability to apply knowledge in practice, then prepare for workforce, gather feedback, and this cycle will be iterative cycle. And again, I got this diagram based on the research paper. At the bottom is written, they mention a competency-based performance task design model. So all these models could assist us when we are designing our competency-based education or assessment. Now, selecting appropriate monitoring tool, you can start with direct observation by a supervisor or healthcare professionals while they are placed in clinical settings. Task performance samples using online rating forms. So there will be a lot of forms involved in each and every milestone or each and every point where you would like to assess the competency or level of competency of your learner. And then 360-degree feedback is very important, and you could even incorporate simulation exercises to be performed by the learners. Now, developing assessment tools and rubric, yeah, assessment tools are very important. Use checklist, anchored rating scale, or narrative feedback. Rubrics need to include in the rubrics we need to include like clear criteria and detailed descriptions for evaluating performance levels, and you need to mention like different levels of expertise. Validity and reliability of individual performance, like we need to ensure and validate and make sure whatever we are evaluating is reliable. So there are a lot of tools which could assist us. Oops. Implementing technology, yeah, we need to start with data analytics, identify the trends, e-portfolios or digital logbooks. Learners need to showcase their work, and we need a proper learning management system to centralize each and every tracking into different paths for the learners, or even different competencies at different places. So even workplace based assessment also need to be fed into one system, and that's how you could actually completely get clear picture, and your dashboard will be having more meaningful indicators for each and every student. Okay, so this is another framework where they actually incorporated SAROPAS model. So setting or scenario, aim, role, observer, products, action, and following the standards. So very comprehensive model. If you go search SAROPAS, that's a complete competency performance task design model. Very useful paper. You can actually go and highly recommend it to go read this paper. And then I just summarize based on using AI tool into this infographics. Like you have the model, then you need to actually come up with the programmatic framework by continuous improvement, assessing the course implementation and students' performance. Then you need to move on structured approach by using competency assessment and learning analytics. Okay, let's move on. This is another infographic from the same paper where they explain competency-based task design model, and you could actually successfully implement by incorporating all these key elements, like when you are design and implementing the challenges, come up with the real task construction, discuss with the clinicians, and then incorporate assessment tools, and then alignment with learning outcomes. Technology integration is very important, and valid assessments which can lead us to properly check the performance or level of competency of our learners. And then we have a lot of models. I already discussed 3 models and frameworks, so that can actually really help us in applying the structured approaches and come up with performance task design. And future direction could be you can adjust according to your own availability of resources in your institutions and level of your students or even your faculty. Adjust a little bit, and that could really enhance the results or outcome of competency based education when it comes to comprehensive systems. And you could track different level of competencies. Okay, so I will skip this actually, and then this is one of the design competency assessment tool, competency assessment tool design framework. And you could see like you can follow this and break down your tasks and how you can actually evaluate the level of competencies in each and every task. So This is a very resourceful paper where in International Journal of Learning, Teaching and Educational Research, and you can actually search about this paper, and that could be a very helpful. Yeah, so this is another table we shared in our workshop. Using this table, you could really design job role and the competencies involved and the performance indicator and how we could assess these performances, which will be the best tool. So you need to really work on this, I would say, like template, and come up with the design and planning of your competencies and aligning it to with different tasks and what would be the suitable assessment criteria or tools to be implemented. The need for competency-based monitoring model, yeah, traditional assessment challenges like often suffers from subjectivity, lack of standards, and limited feedback. So when we are talking about competency-based solutions, so we are monitoring based on the models just now I discussed, and it's very objective measurement, and we really have to map it to clear performance indicators, and it's help us in continuous improvement of learners' performance. Aligning assessment with outcomes and industrial need very quickly. Yeah, we need to define clear program learning outcomes and conduct industrial needs analysis and how we could map it to our program outcomes or competencies we incorporated in our programs, and map these competencies to outcomes. And let me quickly share one of the website. Yeah, so I explored based on my own like jobs or job designations. Based on that, this platform or portal, I would say, could really assist us the required competencies based on the job designation or job description, and it could really guide us, and we can get requirements from this portal. There's I'm pretty much sure I have explored. Malaysian government also have similar portal, and even in Singapore government also. So you need to check in your own country based on your local human resource department. They should come up with what is the required competencies for front desk when it comes to hospitals. So government agencies or ministries should actually list down the key competencies required, and based on this data you could map back to our medical education curriculums what need to be included and how we need to be assessed. Right. Let's move on. Yeah. LMS features for assessment design. You can start with using question banks, rubrics, adaptive assessment features are available in most of learning management systems. Certain assessments you can allow automated grading, and then you need to incorporate competency framework and make sure you define accurately the competencies, track them, and assess specific skills and learning outcomes, and then you need to align with program goals and real-time monitoring of student progress. So most of our LMS learning management systems have these features. You need to actually discuss with your e-learning department or IT department or those who are monitoring administrators of learning management systems and how you could utilize these features. So I'm just sharing with you um, in a summarized version because I have uh, left already 10 minutes to move on, because normally my webinars I don't want to exceed more than 30 minutes. So aligning assessment with programs, I already explained to you. You can use these features and weight of assessment, generate reports. So all these learning management systems could assist us in that. Let's move on. I will quickly explain like H5P, HTML5 package. It's a free tool or plugin into most of the learning management systems. So you can use H5P, come up with interactive portfolio template, and let learner fill in and show the evidences of their learning via this portfolio, and they can upload, and we can track based on SCORM or API format of these third-party tools publish content, or and then we can track automatically how where learners are. Very quickly, I will move on. This is like the benefits of HYP. Yeah, we can really, once we design it, we can reuse it, and it's easily integrated with LMS. Core H5P tools for portfolio, you can have interactive video, DOPS, like then course presentation, image hotspot, and timeline. So when it comes to visualizing the project's progress or experiences chronologically, yeah, we could use this timeline, and learners can really specify at what time, what exactly they have done, or what level of competencies they have achieved. And with the help of these free tools available in learning management systems, we could really monitor performance of our learners. Sorry. Yes, we need to integrate evidence of learning when it comes to increase the credibility. So it do allows like links for external resources, and we can even embed documents like PDF reports or even feedback of patient or your supervisors while working in clinical settings. Um, or even we can integrate branching scenarios, and that could really assist us when it comes to demonstrating the problem solving skills. So while a learner can perform in a simulated environment, we can track that, and that could be really helpful in assisting and checking the level of skills attained by learners. And we can use even quantitative metrics uh, to really get a meaningful interpretation of the data submitted by the learner into LMS. So best practice for effective design, clear learning, need to align content with specific learning outcomes, and need to be listed key competencies required for performing that task. And user-friendly navigation is very critical, and accessibility, like make sure all stakeholders have access to these tools or these platforms, and they can easily move in and key in their progress evidences and all that. So let's move on. Revolutionizing the assessment, the power of digital logbook. We have successfully implemented at my own university, like IMU University. And it's really a simple but very powerful tool when it comes to checking the different competencies or skills of our learners. And at the end, we feed in all the data of these logbooks into radar diagram or dashboard, and we can evenly color code if anyone who is lacking behind or not up to the mark, and we can immediately identify. Yes, I'm moving a bit fast. Yeah, see, date stamped entries, and we can even allow multimedia uploads, videos or even images, or a lot of other documents, evidence of their learning and their performance. And we can comment on their submission and give them feedback. um, like there are several other platforms also I need to just mention, like Moodle is one of them, PebblePad, Mahara, or custom solutions like HPrime. I will be sharing at the end. um, it's actually off the shelf product from Australia. We are also using that platform also. uh, yeah, engagement is one of the key benefit of using digital logbooks. Slightly different than normal assignments, and tracking, we can even adjust real-time adjustment based on the feedback or instruction given by the supervisors. Okay, these are the implementation strategy I would like to share. You need to select a platform, proper platform, which really matches your needs or requirement. Then comes in the training. Make sure every stakeholders like instructors and students are trained how to use these platforms and the features. And then start with pilot project, gather the feedback, refine it, and before you roll out to come masses, you need to really fine tune based on the pilot project and the feedback. And this is how the best practices are when it comes to competency based learning or assessment. These are the sample digital logbooks. I will skip that. So you need to actually come up You can Google actually, and you will get the sample, or sit down with your faculty and ask them what is required, and then design, sample template for digital logbooks, and make sure test it before, apply all the best practices just now I shared in the previous slide. These are the tools which you could incorporate, like Moodle or any LMS. Make sure they have that features. Digital logbook or even assignment need to, you can modify that, but if you're using simple assignment, then make sure you really track it and use appropriately. And then tracking progress is very important. Then PebblePad is off the shelf, or HPrime is another product. Seesaw is for K-12. Google Classroom also you can integrate and use. The future of assessment is continuous, digital and immersive, and how we can improve rather than just uh, make learner accountable. So these are the three future features, or even current features nowadays. Most of the institutions, they are incorporating these features into their assessments. Okay, let's move on. I will skip that. Yeah, how we can enhance students' learning and readiness. So identify the key tools and technologies. I repeat again, LMS is very important. Collaboration platforms and interactive learning tools like H5P I already mentioned, that can really integrate and integrate the interactive content and engage learners. Faculty development is very critical when it comes to implementing um, new technologies. So make sure you have conducted workshops, provide technical continuous support, and give some acknowledgement when those who really implemented successfully new tools or new technologies which you have decided, in your institutions. Student engagement, yeah, ensure accessibility, provide opportunities for them to practice, and really, get familiarized with the features of the tool, and do encourage peer learning, and that we will really accept that will really, make learners or users, comfortable to accept new technologies or platform. Prepare students for professional world. Yeah, so we need to really integrate industrial tools and standards, bring up real world projects, develop digital and AI literacy, and promote lifelong learning. So these are another skills which we need to incorporate in our assessment when we are moving from outcome based to competency based, or even EPAs. Let's move on. Takeaway: LMS tools are very powerful if you really utilize them properly. And what you need to do, you really need to align assessments with competencies and industrial needs. And benefits are substantial when it's implemented appropriately. We really can enhance learning, improve program performance, and increase the employability of our learner when we are actually really matching the industrial need with our competencies. And action items, you need to go and spend extra time when it comes to needs analysis, and map your competencies and outcomes, design align assessments, and analyze the data. And you need to really iterate this process until you really achieve desired goals or objectives. Designing your monitoring model. So define competencies. That's the first step. Develop assessment tools, establish data collection methods, how and where and when you need to capture the data of your learners' performance. And then you need to really implement, do the pilot test first, train faculty and supervisors, and even external stakeholders or supervisors who will be engaged from the healthcare sectors or from the industry, and do prepare monitoring progress of learner with the dashboards or graph or visualization of data fed in via digital logs or logbooks, or even some other features which you will be using from the LMS or from external forms. So integrate them together and make sure you have some tools place, which can actually really visualize and give you graphical representation of your progress of our learner. And we need to really always evaluate impact of our learning and our interventions when it comes to even technology or even curriculum or competencies, the way we assess. Okay, competencies based will lead us to interestable professional activities, EPS, and EPS are unit of professional practice reflecting real world tasks. A trainee can perform unsupervised once competent. So we need to make sure our learners are competent and they are confident in performing and repeating the highest level of competence um, unsupervised. So that is the success of our program. Once we implement it successfully. An effective assessment relies on aligning the interestable professional activities or practices and define competencies and clear standards. So, in conclusion, effective tools integration requires continuous innovation and adoption, because once maybe for a particular cohort it works well, the next cohort they may need slight modification from us. So commit to empower students for the success. The future of education depends on our availability to harness the power of technology to transform learning. Okay, so in summary, I started with very quickly and briefly how we can design competency-based monitoring models. I shared actually 3 or 4 different models, and even references paper will be coming soon. Utilizing the LMS tools or features, I just touched a bit on H5P and how we can implement digital logbooks for continuous assessment, and how we let LMS to evaluate and monitor real-time tracking of our learners based on the competency framework, and 12 strategies how we can integrate all these tools and make sure our students are ready for the industry, for the professional world. Okay, so these are some of the references. I will just allow you to take even picture or Google it, like you can access. I think most of these articles are open access. You can read them and you can really utilize the models and frameworks they discuss when it comes to successfully implementing competency or work-based assessment requirement. Okay. So once again, this is my YouTube channel. Please feel free to subscribe so that whenever I go live, you can actually get alert. And once again, do let me know if you're interested in implementing this competency-based framework or model for monitoring your students. Let me know, and we can actually conduct a workshop customized based on your own institution. Okay, so these few more links, my blog, SlideShares, and my X handler, HBelloch. So thanks once again for listening to this webinar, and stay tuned for my next webinar. And once again, do comment and let me know from where you are watching recording or of my this session. And once again, take care and Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for your time.